They don't see you here.
Oh, no, not yet.
Well,
There's a last
I mean,
minute.
sure,
bid to- Not a big addition for who won't go apply for planning.
That's pretty surprised.
Everybody's attracted, right?
Happy New Year to you. This is the training, yeah. Thank you.
You're watching. Sometimes they're. Something to do. Started.
All right, it's 6 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. By standing and saying the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
all members present. We need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda dated 9 January 2022.
We have motion support. to approve the agenda As submitted, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yes.
Yes.
Was for the correction as 2023.
Oh,
well, if you want to second that, we'll vote again.
No, I second her motion to approve the
Okay, all right.
agenda.
Approval of the minutes for December 12th, 2022 meeting are in your packet.
I'll make a motion to approve of minutes regular meeting. Oh, yeah, for December 12th, 2022.
I'll support.
There's a motion support to approve the minutes for a regular meeting December 12th, 2022. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the accounts, the treasurer's report is in your packet.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report dated January 9th, 2023. I'll second.
We have motion support to approve the treasurer's report As submitted dated January 9th, 2023. Roll call.
Moore,
Yes.
Swint,
Yes.
McCafferty,
Yeah,
Walworth,
Yes.
Beverly,
Yes. Bills and payments are in your packet.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills and payment for December 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022. A second.
We have motion and support to accept the payments, bills and transfers dated 12/1/2022 to 12/31/2022. All those in roll call vote?
Swint,
Yes.
Beverly,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Walworth,
Yes.
McCafferty,
Yes.
We now have public comment. If there's somebody in the audience that has something they'd like to say, if you could stand and say your name and address, appreciate it.
I'll go first. I'm Representative Martin, the new 68th district that was created. Representative got elected in November, so January 1st of June. Down here, doing Goodrich here. So I'm glad to be back out here visiting. Do not look like on campaign. Live here. I started this in your camp. Just haven't had motivation to get rid of it yet. These Monday meetings, I just want you to know, I'm going to try to get here, look at your agenda. If there's something I want to talk and cover from, you want to see me? No. I do have. Here in Groveland. I also gave some townships, they gave us and gave some school work, which I believe for their bringing of their members here. And it's going to be busy night. I'll get down here this office.
All right,
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Anyone else? All right, this time I will close public comments and move on to reports. Administrator.
I'm been working on revising the peddler's ordinance, which was created in 1969, so it needs to be updated. It's been reviewed by our attorney, and he definitely recommends it being revised. So I'm working on that, and also on solar panels. I've had some interest in solar panels, and we do not have anything that addresses solar panels. So I'm getting some samples from some other communities, and we need to address that
For residents or commercial?
for our residents. Mhm. And it's not so bad that they want to put them on their roof. It's when they want to put them in their yard. They can become unsightly. A lot of places recommend that they be screened. So we need to look at making sure we're covered with that. So that's what that's about. And of course, there's several other ordinances, as you all know, that we are working on, but I can only do a couple at a time. Interested or working with the code enforcement officer and building inspector, I'm putting one together for the planning commission to review and make recommendations to council for which I just said for the solar panels. I'm also working with the code enforcement officer, building inspector regarding the condition of the plaza parking lot and the sign that's fallen down, and the unkept condition behind the plaza. So we are working on that issue, those issues there. Goodrich Lions Club sent us a nice thank you letter to the village office in the village of Goodrich for our participation in the food drive that was held this year to benefit local families. They were able to give food baskets to like 122 families, so it's very, very nice. Genesee County Board of Determination met on December the 8th, 2022, and determined that the drain number 1702 Kersley Creek at Grandview as petitioned to allow locating, establishing, and constructing a county drain was conducive to the welfare of the properties and the residents of the village of Goodrich and Atlas Township. Therefore, that the drain is necessary for the protection of public health in our township, and that a portion of the cost of the drain is to be apportioned to our township at large.
Do we know what the breakdown is?
I do not yet. Also, some of the residents were calling me about their Christmas trees, their live Christmas trees, that they wanted to know what they had to do, what to do with them. So I called Republic, and Republic said for 3 weeks following Christmas every year, they will pick up the Christmas trees. So we missed last week. I wasn't able to get it out to the public, but I got it out on our Facebook page, and that every Wednesday, so this Wednesday and next Wednesday, they'll pick up the Christmas trees. they asked if they were 5 feet tall to cut them in two if you could, which it makes it easier for the people to handle picking them up. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Gary.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, we were over Christmas, we had actually at so I think we could be. We start working on the cables. We sand and restain them. We have 2 done already. We kind of wrote that. A lot better than what they were. And I'm wondering, possible crack sealing, maybe in spring, we can work on. It's still early in the season, probably got no prices yet. It's like what the county does, take that hot tar, go over all the cracks. But some roads obviously have 2 per gallon, it's a waste of time.
You don't want to fill them with tar.
Let's see here, AIS. We have a sensor go out on our backhoe. They come out, yeah, but it's all set. Then I do with emissions. So, that's about it. Oh, benches. I did get a price from Wood for the benches. It's about $420 roughly. To replace the wood, we can take old wood off, put the new wood on, stain it, sand it. So $420 versus $900 roughly for new bench.
Yeah, that's something you guys can do.
Yeah, so that's something possible we can maybe look into.
So
It's on the agenda.
Pardon me?
Is that wood treated?
No, we have to stain it. No, but so I guess I'm asking council is possible, are we willing to maybe spend the money on? Maybe do a couple, we got.
Well, it's on the
13
agenda, man.
total. Okay,
It's on the agenda.
we got 13 total, so.
Can I ask how many are in like dire need? Like,
Well, we have the one fully, we have a
right, the one that's sitting back.
Eagle and Ridge.
Okay. So there's like at least 3 of them that should be done like.
Yeah, they were all purchased in 2000. So
Okay,
they're going all the way 23 or so.
right, okay,
They all already need all
okay.
of them. They looked good. You know,
But now to treat them, you guys gotta assemble them and stain them next year, or can they be stained right away? You gotta let
the
them.
new wood.
Yeah.
You're staying right. I think it was a good winter project to keep busy. I mean. It's winter hasn't panned out too good for snow and ice removal.
No.
Looking ahead now. Alrighty.
Did you guys ever get the software for the other side?
We're working on it, but due to the Christmas break, and New Year's, they had a glitch with the system. So I'm getting back to the lady this week. We should be able to get it all downloaded and all that good stuff, so. And one other thing too, I don't know if you guys noticed, but during the nighttime, it's really dim. I guess they got a glitch with the software right now, that's why it's really dim. 'Cause I've heard that from a lot of people, I don't want to know what's wrong with it. It's something to do with their software. But they have to fix that at their end. Okay, so it's not something we can do. That's about it.
Have we looked into the price on the, I have a note here, price, on portable speed signs? We looked at those.
Talk to nobody, but rough idea is about $3,000 a piece.
That's about what they were last year.
Yeah, at least numbers, current numbers, I'm not saying right around 3.
Yeah.
Concern with these guys. They're out here working in the field. They wear a vest. High vis vest. It has no label. To set them aside of who they are. They get out of the truck, they're in the park. They can be anybody. If they're not with the equipment, mowing or whatever. Is it possible to get these guys 5 shirts? High vis shirts, get them labeled DPW. Maybe a sweatshirt. A winter jacket, all high vis. So in the summer, they got 5 shirts. In the winter time, they've got a jacket. I've talked to Matt and the other 2. They would be willing to, if one of them went to walk away from the job and quit, that they would cover the cost of the shirts and coats within like a 6-month period if they would to quit or what have you. And they were okay with that, or they would be,
So it's like a clothing allowance and then get these ordered for them with, and with what on them? DPW?
I would say Village of Goodrich, DPW.
I think we should get some prices.
We need some price.
Right,
Yeah, I will get prices, but I wanted to know exactly what we wanted on there.
I would say Village of Goodrich, DPW.
On all the
It's the same,
shirt,
it's all the
jacket,
same. They're out in the, working on
reflective.
the road or they're working in the ditch or whatever. They need some high vis.
Absolutely.
and I mean, in the past, our poor DPW workers have got, like the short end of the stick from some residents, like, well, what are they out there doing? Why aren't they, I never see them out there doing anything. Well, they're trimming trees, you're driving by, they could be with, Davy tree or, Joe's tree trimming.
Mhm.
This way, it would be like, there's our DPW workers, that they're out there, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's identifying them as, active workers in the community.
It goes along with the county work. County's picking up the tab for the uniform, full
Right.
uniform and high vis.
Right.
So these guys are working on the equipment,
I think it's a great idea.
working in the field. They're not, they wear a vest, but they don't, nothing to set them aside, stand out that, hey, they're our guys.
Good idea. We'll get some.
Right.
Yep, we'll get some prices. Absolutely. And Matt and I will work on that and we'll meet with you and go over what we've got. And then if you're ready with whatever we find, we'll take it to council.
Sure.
Okay. Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Code enforcement report is in your packet.
I guess with the basketball court, the basketball hoop situation, my question is, are they just supposed to put it back in their driveway every night? That's the problem, is it's being left out.
Yeah. They need to do that, yeah, especially when snow, with snow coming, the plows can't get through. They're warned. They're given a couple of weeks to move them, and most of them do. Did they move them all, Matt, or did you have?
They
them re-
did. The problem is we have, especially the road grader, a big truck. They come at the edge of the road and they take the truck and mirrors, and such a large truck and mirrors, usually, hit them. That's one reason why.
And I would think that it would be, that would be like the safety concern as well. I mean, you have a young driver who hasn't been driving very long. I mean, you're taught to look out for people and cars and like things in the roadway. A basketball hoop, I mean, they're not looking up at the sky. They're not looking for, just a hole. I mean, somebody, it could cause an accident or, it could fall on a car. I don't know.
Mhm.
If it's just a matter of getting them out of the road, I don't think that's.
Well, I'm glad, like you
That's
saw in the
not a lot,
picture, they
yeah.
do the cinder blocks, like it's kind of hard for them to move them, but it should be though. They need to scoot them.
I mean, if we can't park in the road, we should be able to park like playground equipment in the road.
Yeah.
I can't put a volleyball net over my street and just say, well, cars can drive under it. Right?
Well, you try, but
Sheriff's report, can I ask what the code for just missing means? Missing what?
Missing person.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at the report here. I got it on my phone here.
On page 10.
no questions about the fire department? We kind of jumped right over
We
that.
skipped over it, but yeah, fire department report is in your packet for your review. That's a truth. What code? Not miscellaneous.
No,
Oh, missing, it's on page 10 for
I think page 10, number 329.
That was a missing person.
Okay,
So someone left the house, parents were worried about. They
okay,
were located though.
thank you. Shannon, while he's here, did you want to bring up what last month with the,
Also, for those of you who know me, my name is Sergeant Vernier, James Vernier, call me Chip. Work at the sheriff's office. Congratulations on your seats.
How do you spell that?
My last name?
Yeah.
Vernier. Yes.
we missed you last month because we brought this up. Yes.
No, last month, when we were talking about the police report and just the sheriff's patrol in the village. I don't know, a few 4 months ago, it was found out that the officers didn't have radar guns in their cars.
And we have them now.
Now you have them, hallelujah, can we use them?
We have them.
To write tickets?
Well, we haven't used them. We had 83 stops last month, but we also had 344 calls for complaints. So I mean, our downtime, on our downtime, our officers are making stops. Roughly made 3 a day last month. 20 citations were written, 48 out of those 20 citations, there was 48 actual non-moving violations. And then you had like 6 OWIs, which ties up the officers, of course.
Right.
That's a 3-hour tie up and you have another.
Right. We don't have an entire police force
Right.
patrolling Goodrich.
But our traffic stops have increased and we have been writing more citations.
Right, because
Um,
that was like my concern.
But I can't take away discretion. If I take away discretion from the officers, I take away choices and options. And you don't want to do that. It also gets into like a civil liability issue when I start forcing people to do something on their job in issuing citations.
Right, but my concern is, and I have friends in the village who have been pulled over for speeding. And if they watch the video, they're gonna kill me. But they've been given warning after warning, after warning, after warning. And guess what? They're not doing.
They're not learning.
They're not. So,
And I tell them, if you pull over people more than once, and then they need once, twice, whatever, they need to start getting citations.
right,
You
and
know,
then,
I used to keep an address book of everybody I pulled over. I have like 40 address books at home of people I pulled over throughout my career.
that's to research.
But I would write people's names and so every time I pulled somebody over, I go through my books when I was on a traffic stop and I would be like, okay, I pulled this person over before we're gonna get a ticket. I mean, but that was something I did and that's something I learned from old school people that when I started in my career.
Right,
But I've addressed, if you have multiple, pulling people over multiple times, you need to start writing.
right. Because
But we've had a lot of changing of the guard here too in the last few months. So we get some new officers in and they may not have the same contact, you know what I mean? So they might be getting pulled over by a newer officer and they're giving a village person a break. Or they're, so we've had some changing, so that does happen. But I've been instructing them, hey, be mindful of what's going on. We have some trouble areas, make sure we're in those areas, make sure we're utilizing our equipment. If you feel somebody needs a ticket, give them a ticket.
Depends on last meeting, if it's one of my kids that are speeding through the village, don't give them a warning. Don't tell them that, oh, slow down this time, because I know my oldest is not going to. He's like
For
the perfect candidate for a
first
speeding
chances,
ticket.
I believe everybody deserves a second chance on a speeding ticket. If I pull you over and I look at your driving record
Right,
and I see that you've never had a ticket, I'm gonna remember who you are though. And if I have your contact with you, I'm gonna write you a citation.
right.
You know,
Like we
but-
have people attend the meetings and, people are speeding down Ridge Road and, nothing's being done about it. Well, again, I realize we didn't have an entire police force patrolling Goodrich.
I'll assure you that the traffic stops have increased over the past month.
Okay.
They've been writing more citations
Okay.
when needed. I'm not gonna force people to write tickets, but I'll make sure we address repeat offenders.
Because Ridge Road is a big,
Yes.
right? I mean, because it's.
Ridge Road,
Ridge Road
I
and
mean-
coming into town from East Eagle is,
Eagle, Ridge.
Yeah, but I guess
Dale,
Ridge has got more,
Kiddup. I mean, people just,
more kids on Ridge Road, right?
Right.
It's more of a true it's kind of like a you're driving through a subdivision kind of. But not really, right? And
Right.
there's just been a lot of complaints on Ridge about people blowing past the stop sign.
Pontiac Street, Erie Street's terrible. They blow
Every
that
time,
stop
every
sign.
time Sherry passes something along too, she gets something from the community, she passes along, I make sure I, disseminate it up to the guys. I keep checking in with them, so if you guys have hotspots, don't hesitate.
Right.
And
and I
I'll
mean,
make
it
sure
could be the
when we have
12,
downtime, we'll be there.
What is the best way to contact? Because like I tried to do it through the Facebook page, but it says it doesn't report to the sheriff's office. And I called the sheriff's office and
I'm
said,
giving you my number. And I told you can call me anytime.
You want
So-
to?
I will not give it over the record. I will give you a card after.
Also, talk about West Eagle.
Or through Sherry. She's
West
no-
Eagle, we have a hard time pulling out because the cars go so fast. There was a cop car sitting on the opposite side when I was trying to come out. And a car went in front of me, but this car was coming down fast and he pulled the car that pulled out to make a right-hand turn. It did, you could obviously see they were speeding
Mhm.
and it's constant. And he didn't give that girl pulled over and he ended up, didn't give her a ticket. He let her go. He was more interested in the person. And he was sitting, looking at it come this way.
And you also don't know what he's seen. I mean, you've seen something, he may be looking at something different. I wasn't in
But
the
I'm
car,
almost
so
with speeding
I
coming down. the
understand,
road.
but sometimes we miss things.
We can't get out ever, especially when school comes through, those.
I mean, everybody lives to a different vision, and he might have been looking at something else that you've seen something different. I don't know. I'm not in the same car with him, so I can't justify what happened. You know what I mean? I can speculate, but I can't, so, I wasn't there. I didn't see what you seen. I didn't see what he seen, or her, whoever was in the vehicle.
thank you for coming.
No
Yeah,
problem.
appreciate it.
I tried to be as often as possible. I was unfortunately off doing that this last meeting, so.
No, thank you.
Okay, moving on to unfinished business. We need to appoint a village citizen representative to the Genesee County Metropolitan Alliance Committee. Angie Adamick sent an email into the village asking, saying that she would like to be reappointed to the Metropolitan Alliance. So I will make a motion to appoint Angie Adamick as our village resident representative to the Metropolitan Alliance.
I'll second.
Motion and support. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to new business. Item A, the authorization for the purchase of wood for repair of 13 benches at a cost of $417.58 each, and a total cost of $5,425.94. That's a lot cheaper than
Oh, yeah.
you were pricing out
Yep.
those benches that were
Right.
plastic.
I looked into possibly getting composite slabs, but the problem is the benches that we have are 8 feet. All the slabs I've seen are usually 4, 6, or 72-inch slabs for newer benches. Ours are 23 years old, so I looked into that too. I just couldn't find any. Ours are 94 inches long.
But if we're replacing them, does it matter what length we get? Or we just stay the bases?
We're repainting the bases. That's, we're saying that.
So could it technically be a shorter bench if the composite
You
works?
know, just, you look at the one from our door here, there's a metal rod that goes underneath. And that's,
So a stabilizer bar.
Yeah.
you know, there's a stud at each end, you can't shorten it. I thought about that too, but you can't shorten it.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize wood for repair of 13 benches at the cost of $417.58 each, and a total cost of $5,425.94.
Support.
I'll support, but I also, can we talk about
Sure.
something here? Melissa and I had 2 sick kids and I was sick and, I failed to get back to her. We had discussed getting in contact with some of the nonprofits, in the community, and then, we were going to further discuss, which I would still like to do. Like creating a flyer and possibly having, you know, folks, if they would like to donate a bench, if they want to have a plaque on it, or if they have like some spot like special to have a bench that they could potentially, you know, purchase a bench and help the village out. That doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that like we're gonna have 13 sponsored benches. But even if we fixed the 13 benches and had new benches with, you know, community support to, you know, whether they're benches in the park, whether they're benches in front of, you know, somebody's business that, you know, grandpa liked to frequent or whatever. But I would still like to look into that because I think that it gets the community a little bit involved and it gives them kind of, you know, something visual that says, you know, I did that, and, you know, a little bit of community pride, so to speak.
Right,
So-
and what we had talked about too is if we replace them, there was even, you know, just the circular plaques that we could have, you know, one pre-done that says, you know, gives examples, and we have how many words are possible, how many letter spaces there are, and maybe we say for $700 a bench, you have a plaque now for the next 20 years. Maybe Gear does one, maybe Good Times does one, maybe like she said, maybe, you know, Grandpa Ray.
They
you know,
could adopt a bench.
Adopt a bench, Goodrich resident from 1957 to 2010 or something. And then it's just a way to get back on the cost of it. Like you said, it's just something to look at when you're walking and builds a little camaraderie.
Right.
And before we seal them, we had the last ones painted by the local artists.
Those are adorable.
Yeah.
Maybe reach out and let them paint them before you seal them,
Yeah, I'm not sure how.
or lacquer them, so they,
Yeah, I mean,
that
I
way
have
they
to
can't.
read, I don't know how that scene works, I have to read
Yeah,
on
I
it.
think I can sit-
No,
I think you can-
Polyurethane them
Right, I
instead
was
of
just
using
thinking, once you
leftover
seal them,
paint.
you know, something
Or on
on it,
that part,
right? If they wanted to come back in and do one
or-
and put a plaque on it, that they did it.
Yeah, you might be able to a couple of years down the road after the state's been on there a while.
It's about $420 a bench.
Totals is for,
Yeah,
That's with tax, but
that's big.
that's with tax.
we don't pay
We
tax.
don't pay tax.
Okay, so we have a motion in support on the floor, to authorize, the purchase of wood at a total cost of $5,425.50. Roll call?
DeShavarty,
Yes.
Bunce,
Yes.
Walworth,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Heatherly,
Yes,
Item number B is the consideration of the appointment of 2 council members to meet with Pastor Joel from the United Methodist Church regarding joint venture for a farmers market, and authorize administrator to obtain opinion of village attorney regarding the process. So what can you tell us about this, Shirley?
Pastor Joel is in the audience. And he would like to speak on it. And but he contacted me, and of course, we had been discussing it. And it just clicked. I explained it to you guys, and I think it's a great idea, a joint effort of the community. And Pastor Joel, do you want to add anything?
Sure. So maybe down all Chairman Methodist Church is in fact there, also in Goodrich. I will admit that wanting to start a farmer's market is a little bit of a selfish thing. I frequent a lot of local people that sell things around the community, and it'd be nice to have a one-stop place to do that. I think that our property is well suited to it. If you are familiar with it, it's kind of an L-shaped parking lot, and so I think we could have vendors toward the back and still have plenty of space for parking up front when we hosted it. I was talking to other area farmers markets, and the reason I reached out through Sherry was that they said, well, you really should contact the municipality and ask them if they want to be officially involved so that it's truly the Goodrich Farmers Market, or whether they want you to just sort of run it and it's all right if you carry the name Goodrich Farmers Market. Sherry said she reached out to you all and said you were interested and had been talking about it. And so, the other nice thing about our facility is we have a large gym, so if there was any kind of weather, we could move inside, if need be. So, yeah, I think you have questions, you ask me, but as I said, talking from other areas, so I've pulled, they all have rules and regulations on what vendors can sell and what the rules are as far as where it comes from within a certain radius usually, and so I'm working on trying to pull some of those documents together.
Which I am also with the management listserv for the municipal league. They've been chatter on there is saying that normally there's one or two people that are in charge of it. You have to have someone in charge of it. There's some rules and regulations, as Pastor Joel just said. So I think we need to. I've been trying to gather this information from some of the other municipalities, and we need to do it right and get it going right so we can have it ready for the spring. If this is something that you guys want to go forward with, and if you create this little committee, we can, work together and get this going. I think it'd be a great thing. I think it'd be a win-win for this village.
I think it would be fantastic.
Talk about the two residents in front of church.
Yeah, one of them attends the church, so I got with Margaret here.
What's that?
The other, I'm not as familiar with.
Joyce.
Yeah. But. Yeah, right, I guess we can. Approach them. Sure. I think we can consider it.
How often were you thinking?
I mean, ideally, it would be once a week during the, best.
Growing season,
months.
if you will.
Right.
Yeah, and then we have to talk about, I've talked to some people that say it's really important to have live music because that draws people, and that might affect me, right? So.
Right. Right.
My plan was to, a lot of places charge the vendors. I think at first you would do it free of charge to try to make sure we have vendors, and then as we see that it becomes a viable thing, we might eventually use it to cover whatever costs there might be for advertising or that.
Well, I will say, when I read over this on the agenda this weekend, I got incredibly excited, to no surprise. And I would absolutely love to, if you're appointing people, I would love to be in consideration for that and work with you. And I feel like I do thrive with like social media marketing and would love to work on designs for, a signage and make it a success. I know I work with them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think. Really, better to have it there, but we can also talk about it.
The parking coming in and out of theirs.
With the stoplight, it works nice that there's a break then.
Yeah.
That been due.
I'm working.
No,
towards,
right.
getting Margaret to her house. That would be ideal, right? Because it is an awful, you're not wrong. An awful, but.
Yeah, I know.
A
Scary.
lot of people have tried to do that.
Well, like I said, I'd like to appoint myself for consideration if anybody else wants to join me. Otherwise, I can jump with Joel and
No, I'm that's cool too, but what would be?
I think we,
Well, we still got to get it together.
Yeah,
I would like
these
to,
guys.
Pastor Joel, a couple of his parishioners and you two, that would be a nice little group. Then we could meet here or at the church, wherever you want to meet. But Pastor Joel and I'll figure it out.
And so what are you, gonna run by the village attorney? Just
Just what it is we as a municipality need to do to protect us as
Right.
far as risk management is concerned. That's what I need to make sure all those things are covered. That's all. Other than that, the rest of it I can handle as far as what needs to be. Yeah, you just need to. Right, but still, I mean, we need to, we need to do a writer. I mean, I need to look into this legalities.
Put the name on the village. Garage.
Yes.
For somewhere in there. Right.
Mhm. That's all.
then I'll make a motion to appoint Melissa and Sherry to the committee for the farmers market and to authorize Sherry Wilkerson to obtain the opinion of our village attorney regarding the process. We have a motion, multiple supports. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Number C, consider request by Nat Schlinker to be appointed to the current vacancy of the planning commission. There's a letter in your packet. He has formerly served as a member of Genesee County Planning Commission and the Flint Zoning Board of Appeals. He served on the Flint City Council from 1989 to 2005. Was on the Genesee County Parks Commission and is a member of the Flint Public Library Board of Trustees from 2011 to 2020. He is employed at General Motors and has recently moved to Goodrich and is estimated to be appointed to the Planning Commission. So I will make a motion to appoint.
We also got an application.
Another application that passed out to everybody.
And Jim, you're applying for zoning and planning.
And the
Planning one of the vacancies, right?
They both have one.
They're both.
these are first, like,
Well, I'll make a motion that we appoint Matt Schlinker to the Planning Commission.
support.
We have a motion and support to appoint Matt Schlinker to the Planning Commission. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
Motion carries. I'll make a motion to appoint Jim Moore to zoning board of appeals.
I'll second.
We have motion and support to appoint Jim Moore to the zoning board of appeals. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I have a question. It's not on the agenda. It's just a vacancy for planning commission. It's not for zoning. I understand, but it's not on the agenda. I mean, it can be put on the agenda for next month to vote on it.
Should we just add it?
You can make a motion right now to add it. Somebody make a motion to add it and then go ahead and do your other
I
motion.
think the motion to add.
The appointment for zoning.
To appoint.
You can just say, consider request by Jim Moore to be appointed to the zoning board of appeals.
Accept request for Jim Moore to be
Appointed to the zoning board of
appointed
appeals.
to the zoning board of appeals.
I'll support that. So now I'll repeat my motion.
No, wait a minute, you gotta do a vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have motion and support to amend the agenda for an appointment to the zoning board of appeals.
I'll support it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right, so now I will remake my motion to appoint Jim Moore to zoning board of appeals.
I'll second.
The motion is support to appoint Jim Moore to the zoning board of appeals. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item number D, consider resolution 2023-01 to revise the current schedule of fees.
When we raised the planning and zoning fees, this had to be amended also. And each one usually takes 2 meetings, so I added 2 meetings to each level. And that's what this is, to cover that, and this is paid for through the applicants. Mhm.
Well, then I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution 2023-1 to revise the current schedule of fees. Support.
Motion and support to adopt resolution 2023-01 to revise the current schedule of fees. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item number E, schedule workshops / special meeting with Wade Trim to discuss grant options for the dam. There's a calendar.
And the reason this is on here, we have a time, we're in a time constraint. We have to have this application in by the end of January. And there's several grants that are to be offered depending on what council ends up wanting to do. And I mean, we can look at this stuff and so it'll be a workshop planning, special meeting to go over this. And that's why the need.
So next week, Monday,
No.
No.
January 19th.
Works good for me, like plan.
The 19th, how about everybody else? 19th,
19th works for me.
19th, Keith, everybody,
Yes.
somebody make a motion.
I will make a motion to schedule a workshop special meeting with Wade Trim to discuss grant options for the DM on 19 January 2023.
At what time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Support.
We can do 5, we can do it earlier if you want, it's up to you guys.
6 o'clock works for me.
Okay. Okay,
We have a motion in support to schedule special workshop with Wade Trim to discuss grant options for DM on January 19th at 6 p.m. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Item number F, we have a sewer system rental and purchase agreement. Municipality owned with Atlas Township. For sure, you want to talk on this a little bit?
if you, well, for the 2 new people, we only had 5 REUs left, okay, in order, the new one that's gonna be built is gonna take 3 to 5 years. Grand Blanc has offered to loan us, keyword loan, 25 originally. Atlas Township said that they would like to have 5. They would need 5 of them. Well, we didn't want to give up our 5 of our 25, so we asked for 30. Grand Blanc agreed to give us 30. So giving the village of Goodrich 30, loaning us. Each year, if you look at the agreement, each year we have to pay every January for each one that we use, that we utilize of the 30. We have to pay a rental fee until the new facility, KCI facility is built. Remember, they're not ours, they're only loaned. Once that's built and we get our 300 that we initially asked for with the new KCI unit for the our units, then we'd have to pay back the 30 units to Grand Blanc. It's a loan, we're paying them back. Atlas Township sent me a check for over $12,000. They literally want to purchase the five of them now and take control of them. And it's not in here that they, that they indeed then would have to pay us for the rental of it every month or every year until we hook up to that new KCI. Tracy and I discussed it, and Tracy and I said that they are ours. We should benefit from the billing of it. Is that correct, Tracy?
Absolutely.
And it's not in there. It's not, that verbiage is not in this agreement that the Atlas Township took it upon themselves to create via their attorney and sent it to the county for approval. Then the county sent it to me to take to you guys. We have not had a chance to give this to our attorney to review.
And we have not cashed that check to
I have
say
not.
like we're in agreement. with-
No,
Okay,
it's on
good.
hold. I've
Perfect,
done
because
nothing.
They're on loan from Grand Blanc. They're not ours
To
to
sell,
sell.
correct.
No. purchase them from Grambling and then sell
No,
them.
they're not selling them to us.
They're not selling, they're just loaning up. Yeah, they're just loaning them out until the Kearsley Creek Interceptor is available.
I would like this to be postponed so I can have an opportunity to,
have they committed to KCI?
Yeah. They said they were going to. but
I
we-
do not know the answer to that. I do not know the answer to that. I'd have to find that out. We would, well, we could do it conditional.
This is contingent that they join KCI. Yep, so. So are you looking for,
I would like a postponement,
Postpone it.
so I can send this to, with all our concerns that I just voiced,
Yeah,
I'll make a motion to postpone.
Because did that $12,000.
and authorize you to contact our attorney.
Did that amount come from like 181.35 per year times 5 times 5 years? Is that where they came with that number?
I'm not sure where they got the number. They may have gotten it from our ordinance.
all right, we have a motion on the floor.
Second.
We have a second. We have a motion to postpone the purchase agreement with the Atlas Township in regards to our 5 sewer units.
And to allow.
And
Sherry.
to allow Sherry to
Contact.
contact the lawyer to discuss, to get his opinion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This motion carries.
Thank you.
Can we have public comment? Is there anyone that's not in the audience? Like to speak? Yes.
The benches, it was mentioned that I think Melissa, you mentioned that you really like the painting of the benches, and I think a lot of people did. So instead of staining them, could we consider painting them, maybe getting high schoolers and the art department to paint them and then that seal them?
That's what
Seal them. Get with the organization, whoever painted them last time, let them paint them, let them dry, seal them, and then set them up in the spring.
So where are we gonna do this? The school's gonna come and take the benches over to the
Well, I
school
think
and paint
Matt
them,
has,
or
he
what?
says he's gotta go first and make sure the stain, everything's gonna work.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't, once you paint them, if that stain is gonna stick to the paint.
Or it could be contingent, that the high school takes a bench because they've got, an art student that would like to paint a bench and it's, they paint it and they polyurethane it or weather protect that
Would they
bench.
even have?
No, that's
Right.
what I'm thinking. If we paint them,
Right,
let somebody paint them,
right.
polyurethane, 'em, keep them from the weather, you won't have to stain 'em.
So anyways, I know it was volunteers like artists in the area that did the other ones, but high schoolers, our classes, they might be interested in doing that. And then the other thing was about the farmer's market. I think we have a music ordinance that, I don't think that the music during a farmer's market would really be a concern, because I think we have hours that you can have music before it affects anybody. And as far as the 2 houses,
It's a noise ordinance.
a noise ordinance, yeah. As far as the 2 houses, it would be like a courtesy to inform them that this is gonna happen, but I don't know so much that they would really be able to object to it. I mean, they don't object to church services going on and people coming in on Sundays, so, it could just be a courtesy saying we're gonna be having a farmer's market, just to let you know. Those were my 2 comments.
Anybody else? All right, this time I close public comment. Ask for council member comments. Anybody have any comments?
No, it's a good productive meeting, good conversations there.
All right, with that, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
I don't make a motion to adjourn. We had a second before a motion.
Let's get out of here.
Motion for adjourn, all those in favor say aye. Motion carried.
I started for years and never.
All right, let's do the list.
Sherry's got upstairs, I gotta grab it.
Oh, she got it upstairs.
Can I run and grab it?
Yes.